guys, I don't know what the word on Halloween in your neck of the woods is, but it hasn't been canceled here yet. And I really am against canceling Halloween. We've learned a lot of things about coronavirus in the last 6 or 7 months. We've learned that masks, when worn, help, social distancing, washing hands, and not staying with the same group of people in the same kind of indoor space for too long. So I think if we utilize all 4 of these things, we can make trick-or-treating safe for our kids this year and not cancel Halloween. So stick with me and I will go over some of the ways I think we can use these to make it fun for the kids. First of all, I think the most important is the masks, and masks need to be worn covering the nose and mouth. Nicely fitted, filtering masks need to be worn by all the trick-or-treating kids, all the chaperoning parents, and all the people handing out their candy. And not just wearing a mask, but you need to keep that mask on until you have the ability to wash your hands. So whenever you take it off, you need to wash your hands or sanitize the hands. So don't be like, you know, take it off, take a few breaths, put it back on, take it off, have a candy. No, that's not gonna fly. That's gonna be spreading the germs. So keep the mask on for the entire trick-or-treating adventure. If you're gonna be bringing a baby or a toddler with you who can't wear a mask, I really recommend, if you can, put them in a stroller with the rain cover on. Boom. If you have a wagon, you could decorate the wagon and make it kind of part of the costume. But again, with the rain cover, or if you don't have a rain cover for your wagon, check out what I did with ours. I have a Wonderful wagon and I just kind of like cut up a clear shower curtain and clipped it to the poles. Super cheap and easy hack. The second main thing we need to do is social distance. And this might not be possible in some areas. Where we used to live in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, it is packed on Halloween night. They even block off some blocks where it's no cars, and it's just like hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of people gather in that, like in those few blocks. And it's just like shoulder to shoulder, like push your way through. It is insane. And so obviously that's not happening this year. That is not safe, don't recommend it, not allowed. But in other areas, it may be possible to go trick-or-treating. It might not be that crowded. It may mean something like you need to go earlier than usual. I'm talking like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, right after school. It may mean instead of trick-or-treating for 5 hours and filling up 2 pillowcases, you just go like around your block and you're done. Just something to get the costume on, do the trick-or-treating, get some candy, and you know, you celebrated the holiday. You don't have to go full on like every other year. This is not a normal year. This is not gonna be the same Halloween it was last year. There's different rules. The kids know that. School is different, everything is different right now, and the kids get it. But to just like cancel it completely is just like such a bummer. It's like totally bumming me out, and I'm like, there's no reason. We can wear masks, we can social distance, it can be okay. Did you see the video of this Ohio dad who created this candy chute? And basically he created this tube that goes down his porch railing. So he like puts the candy in it at one end and it's 6 feet long, and then the kid puts their bucket at the other end and just catches it. This is brilliant. These are the kinds of ideas that can totally make Halloween and trick-or-treating happen this year. So make yourself a candy chute, or you can put other things up that will have the kids social distance and not get too close to you as you're handing out candy. You can throw the candy from your porch. You could have a bucket outside away from your porch. You can monitor so kids aren't taking all the candy at once, as they always do. You could have a scooper so that they're not sticking their hands in it. You know, so many options here. You could put pumpkins or luminaries that will like show them, just like at school, that they have to stay 6 feet apart when they line up, or caution tape, or you know, signs or tape on the sidewalk so they come in the sidewalk one direction and leave through the driveway the other direction. There's so many ways. And just, you know, if you're with your kids, always be reminding them to stay apart from the other groups. And if you send your kids out on their own, just, you know, make sure that they're going to be responsible. Which leads me to another thing, is that choose your trick-or-treating group wisely. Of course, the best will be just to go out with your family that you live with. And then the next best would be to maybe go out with a couple of kids from your child's school pod, kids that they're with every day anyway. you know, the bigger your group, the more varied the attendees are, the more possible germs are going to be floating around while you guys are walking together. So, you know, you're outside, you're wearing masks, you're not right up close to each other. There's very low risk, but there is risk. So, you know, the less people you have in your group, the better. Another way, and kids might not be so game for this, but I really, really think this year you need to quarantine your candy. I'm talking no candy snacking while you're out trick-or-treating, because you don't know who handled that candy, and your kids have been touching candy that's been touched by all these other people, and who knows what else they've touched. And so I don't want them touching their mask, which means touching their face, and then opening candy, touching the candy. Oh my gosh, so much like germ cross-contamination possibilities there. So I really think it's gonna be a mask on the whole time, no snacking on the candy. You get home, the candy goes straight in its bag, straight into a closet for 3 days. And then you can kind of like come up with a new holiday, candy release party or whatever, 3 days later, where you like let loose and total binge fest or whatever. The kids, maybe you gotta get them, you gotta get them into this idea, because it's really necessary, I think. If you're gonna let them have some candy before the quarantine's over, I think you need to, as the parent, do it yourself. So you open up the candy, like open it up onto a plate, and then they can eat it. And you go wash your hands. I wouldn't really trust my kids opening up all this random candy that came from who knows where. Not until it's been quarantined. My family does the Switch Witch, and we've been doing it since my oldest was 3, I think. It's the best if you start when it's the first Halloween that they'll remember, because if you start when they're older, kids I don't really think are gonna be on board with a Switch Witch idea. But basically, we get home and the kids pick out their 10 favorite pieces of candy to save, and the rest of the candy goes onto the table, and the Switch Witch comes that night and she takes all the candy and she leaves a prize. So something like, depending on the kid, what they want, you know, Switch Witch knows. She might bring some Play-Doh or a watch or a little book, or who knows, like it doesn't have to be this major thing, but just something, you know, they did a lot of work collecting all that candy and they need something for it. And if it's something that's not candy, that's much better for them, healthier for them, but they still really love it. So that is a win-win in my house. So I will definitely do that again this year, but also incorporating the quarantine. So we might, I might just let them pick out their 10 pieces of candy and then wash their hands immediately. And I will bag up the candy they save, and that gets quarantined, and the rest of the candy gets put out for the Switch Witch. And maybe we'll leave her a little note that she needs to quarantine it, you know, because we don't want her to get sick and bring the sickness to wherever the Switch Witch lives. I don't even know. Anyway, not sure what she does with it. She might eat it, she might donate it. There's a lot of worthy causes that collect Halloween candy after Halloween, so and maybe she does that. Who knows? If you have someone immunocompromised or an elderly adult in your home that you just really don't feel comfortable trick-or-treating, getting candy from all these random people, there are some alternatives you could do. One would be trunk or treat. And one way that this could happen in a safe way, I think, would be, let's say you get your school PTO to organize it. And if you want to have a trunk or treat car giving out candy, you have to register. And they give you a parking spot, so it's like every other parking spot. And so you get your spot and you decorate your car, whatever. And then there's like markers so the kids don't get within 6 feet of your car, and you toss them the candy or whatever, you know. And you could even have a DJ going, and the kids can kind of like, once the trick-or-treating part is over, the kids hang out at their own cars, or, you know, at a safe distance from each other and dance, and you can have freeze dance and all this fun stuff. This sounds really fun to me, and safe. So there are a lot of alternatives. And even if you just end up having Halloween trick-or-treating at your own house with your own family and nobody else involved, you can still make it fun for little kids anyway. Older kids are gonna be like, what is this? I wanna go to a party. But for the younger kids, I mean, you could take turns dressing up and going to your bedroom or different doors and opening and trick-or-treat, and like, it's super fun. And we even do year-round, we kind of mix trick-or-treating and Easter egg hunting, and we have like those fake plastic Easter eggs, and we'll hide candy in them, and the kid goes around with either their Easter basket or their Halloween basket, and they go find the Easter eggs and open it up, find the candy and stuff. So it's really fun. For older kids, you could even do this and put in like, you know, make it educational too. You could be like, include clues in an Easter egg, and it tells them where to find the next Easter egg. And then there's like a math skill, like 5 times 7, and then they get the new clue, and it's just like, it could be really fun. So you can get creative to make this year not a total bummer if you're skipping trick-or-treating. You could still make it happen one way or another. I think this is gonna happen. My kids are going trick-or-treating. Don't know what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it, but they're gonna get dressed up, they're gonna get some candy, they're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna make some memories, and that's what it's all about, right? The memories, the fun. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to let me know what you think about Halloween this year, how you're planning to celebrate with your kids over on US Japan Fam, on social media, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. YouTube has our comments turned off, so anyway, be sure to subscribe. Bye guys.